All right, so time now, if we can. We have to go to fan questions, Brian Campbell. Let's do the fan questions if we can. I got to find the old email they sent me here at the bottom, I believe. Okay, we can put them up here on the screen, I believe, if I'm not mistaken here. Oops, hold on. I got to go back to my inbox. Here we go. Yes, now I have them. Okay, let's do this. All right. First up, you have the tiny tank one. So, were you in order? Well, these don't match mine at all. Oh, here we go. Yes, now they do. Did Covington go too far with the Matt Hughes comment? Please let me go first on this one.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I found this one. How do I explain this? This is a larger commentary on, well, who's your favorite stand-up comedian? This is not, Colby is not a stand-up comedian, but who's your favorite stand-up comedian?
Dennis Leary.
Tell me why.
Because I listened to 1991's No Cure for Cancer in the back of my Chevy Celebrity for about 7 straight years.
Okay. My answer is Patrice O'Neal. And I don't know how Patrice O'Neal would fit into today's comedic scene, because what people want now is like woke comedy, which is not really comedy at all. And here's the point about this. What people want now are people you can put on Netflix. I call them good boys, who just say all the right things, and they kind of make sure that they're sponsor friendly. And again, Colby's not a comedian, but the point being is that need to accommodate establishment ideas and establishment thought is suffocating. It is going to create somebody who comes and does this. In MMA, we have suffocating demands. You have to be reverential towards X fighter. You have to think that so-and-so is the right call. You have to think that that's the best fight ever. And then someone comes along and goes, no, I don't think that. Would I make the Matt Hughes joke? Never. I would never personally make it, nor do I endorse it. I'm not even sure I think it's like all that funny, but I also understand someone is going to come around when you have ideas that are not supposed to be challenged and taboos that are not supposed to be touched, and he's going to set them all ablaze. The key is to not let it offend you. The key is to understand what it is. It is vandalism of your senses, but don't
well,
let it.
The key is to not tweet and talk about it.
Yes,
if you want
the
to
key
go
is
away,
to not give it oxygen.
Because I took umbrage with what you said last week, I think, when you said, don't be confused. Colby Covington is been fueled and made up by the media.
No. That's not what I said. What I said is, if you found the weaknesses of how MMA media covers the sport and you wanted to craft ways to take advantage of all the weaknesses, that is who he is. And I don't know how you could possibly contest that.
Well, I think when you say that, though, some people sort of imply that people want a guy like this to be created. So they're taking part purposely in creating him, whether for political reasons or boredom or laziness or whatever. But you got to understand, covering sports in any form, and I started covering high school sports like 1995, you find someone that can talk. I don't care if it's a girl, someone on the girls' swimming team or their coach or anybody, you flock to that person. They break the monotony of the job in journalism. They add the spice that you cling for. It's catnip, it's sex. Somebody who can fill your notebooks and say things, especially controversial, it's great. The problem is, it only matters if they're relevant, if they keep winning.
Right.
When they stop winning, it doesn't matter. No one's tweeting about it, no one cares.
Yeah, speaking of a train coming off the tracks, if he loses, then this goes away.
But right now, he's in that golden period where he keeps winning. He's almost doing what Conor did, where every step of the way, you're like, okay, the next one, he's going to get served. And then he didn't. So at this point, it's sort of like he built himself. This is already a built engine in practice and system where if somebody can talk, you give them the forum. You want this. We want big quotes. We want anything from these people.
Right. But the point is, like, people are like, oh, well, they accused him of being indecent. It's like, I don't understand that criticism. It's like, dude, that's what he's trying to do. When you tweet, oh my God, that was really, that was over the line, Colby's looking at it and going, mission accomplished.
Look, this is entertainment. We say this all the time. No, it's freaking entertainment.
It's not, the idea is not that, the idea is, yes, it is indecent. And you should hold on to your own sense of decency. But when you have a provocateur, which is what he is a provocateur, when you lash out on social media at it, you are enabling him.
You're fueling him.
You are enabling him. So if you find it indecent, deprive him of oxygen. It's the only way to combat this.
But try to tell me that he's bad for the sport. Try to convince me of that.
I do worry about this fight with Usman. I do worry about this
fight. If you're worried about it from a racial standpoint and where the politics comes together, I agree with you. Yes. I don't want to see it cross that line. But to act like true villains, and look, true is a weird word because he is fake. This is fake. It's a character he's playing. Is there
It's a halfway character.
Is there curmudgeonry underneath him to fuel that character? Yes. But a lot of what he's doing is out of the pro wrestling handbook. So my whole point is MMA and boxing, it's so close to pro wrestling on the terms of marketing and in the terms of how we get excited about things that he's a character. You need villains.
I will just say this though, people want a character like the Joker who they can kind of like admire from afar. Oh my God, Heath Ledger did such a great job in The Dark Knight. What a character I can really wrap my arms around. Colby is not interested in that. He is not interested. The joke is on the audience. He is not trying to bring you into a dark world and show you its mystery and wonder and also its frightening sense. He's trying to piss you off. So when you lash out, you are enabling this. I don't know. People are like, well, his gimmick doesn't work. Do you dislike him? Yeah. Are you pissed off about his Matt Hughes joke? Yeah. MFer, it works perfectly. That's what it's designed to do. Stop.
It's going to fit great in the new sizzle reel one of these. By the way, real
drives
quick,
me nuts.
Dana White not showing up cage side for this one in a New York market with Don Jr.
With
and
the
Eric
Trumps,
Trump
yeah.
there. Your thoughts?
I hadn't thought much about that. What, you think it's conspiratorial?
I don't know. Maybe on Morning Combat Political Edition next week we'll get down on it. All right.
All right. Next one. Let's do this. Next one. I'll make sure these are coordinated in the right way. All right. From Joel Embiid. I don't think the real one though. Usman and Colby both have great wrestling cardio, pace combined with good striking. What is the difference maker in the fight and who has it? Now I did a big one on this on Dissected. So I'd love to hear what your thought is. You think it's what, the damage?
It's power. The difference is power and ability to finish. Both don't always show finishing instincts, but the ability to finish, I think, is much stronger in Usman. I think he wins this fight.
Yeah, he might. I don't think that the instinct is much higher with. I think the instinct is probably the same with both guys. The difference is, you came in and dissected, I think, at the end. The difference is that if you look at the way Colby wrestles, when he goes for takedowns, he keeps his hands locked, and when he's in on a position, he wrestles through it. Usman, when he gets to a position, he'll find some kind of static place and then begin to bang on you.
Won't their wrestling cancel out though? Won't they cancel out? This will turn into a boxing match?
Here's the interesting part. Colby does all of his damage. You look at his totals, literally 90% of it happens on the feet. If you look at Usman, more than 60% of it happens on the ground. Colby doesn't do ground and pound, he exchanges. Usman doesn't really exchange, he ground and pounds. That's the big difference. The key is this. Kamaru Usman has 100% takedown defense. 3 fights he's only ever had a takedown attempted on him. One was Demian Maia, which you saw, not much of a wrestler, okay? Tricky, but not much of a wrestler. One was Tyron Woodley, but I showed it on Dissected, not much of a shot. And then the other one was from Rafael dos Anjos, who was not big enough and not a wrestler. Which is to say, here's the other X factor. No one who has the ability of Colby has ever really tried to take down Kamaru. If you look at the shot from Woodley, it's not much of one. He didn't really try. What if someone goes out there and tries to really take him down? Now what happens? So the interesting part is, if he gets taken down, Colby's going to get banged on.
You trying to say teams that press hate being pressed? Is that where this is going?
I'm saying both guys are similar. They have a key difference, but one has never really quite faced the other. That's going to be the
one
interesting
hasn't
part.
quite faced the pain.
Please leave. Okay, next. Okay, here we go. How could a fighter beat these modern wrestling heavy fighters like Covington, Usman, Khabib? Granted, Khabib's game is a tad different comparing to the other two. Very different, actually. But it seems as if there's not a clear way to beat these modern wrestlers who surprisingly have a monstrous cardio. What is your take on that? Big fan from, as you would say, Iran. Because you can just pronounce it however you want, huh?
Is it Charday to you or Said? That's where that's
It's Iran. Okay, Iran. All right, how do you want to do this? What do you think the big difference is?
Go, you're the professor. What do you got?
So the answer to this is, first of all, hard to do. Because these guys, with the key insight for all of them, Khabib is different because so Usman and Covington, here's what they're similar. They want to get you to a knee. They want to get you a wrist control, and then Covington will just keep wrestling you. Usman will begin to fire. What Khabib does is he actually doesn't stop there. He will bang on you from there, but he actually wants to get you flat on his back because he wants to go to mount. He wants to take the back. He actually wants to finish. He has much more finishing instincts. But what binds all three of them, the Covingtons, the Usmans, and the Khabibs, is that they have an incredibly labor-intensive style. It is built on this work rate that is astronomical. So just to like tread water with them, you're in the choppiest of seas, and you have to do it round after round. The key is easier said than done. I think about somebody like Stylebender. Now, what I'm saying is, I don't think Stylebender necessarily, I mean, he's smaller than all these guys, so I don't think well, not Khabib.
Bigger.
But the idea is when you get in on Stylebender, he stops the takedown and then creates quick separation along the fence line. You got to have a jab that sticks in their face, like a Jose Aldo type. Quick, athletic, break the hands, combined with a jab in their face. It's kind of that. Mix a Jose Aldo with a Stylebender, which doesn't exist, I suppose, but I'm just pointing out.
What about a GSP, when you consider he has the jab to mix with the rest?
That's right. He has the jab to keep distance on Lacoste checks, and when the fishes want to get in on him, he could stuff it and then repurpose it. Something like that.
What about an old GSP?
Like a prime?
No, what about GSP right now against Bisping?
Could he beat the Covingtons?
Could he come in here and be that?
Prime GSP? Yeah, I think so.
No, I'm talking about late 30s right now GSP, active GSP,
against
back
Usman
in the
and
gym
Covington?
GSP. Can he still be? Is he the savior in waiting to beat this style of fight?
No, I don't think he could. Maybe. It's interesting. I don't know. It's a good question.
Coming soon to Mortal Kombat Dissected.
Morning Kombat. I know. I keep saying mortal too. All right, next. I'm going to pronounce this name wrong. Alex Schulcher? In a period where the UFC is struggling to replicate the superstar pull of fighters such as McGregor and Rousey, the loss of Cyborg is huge. I don't agree. Is there a point where the powers that be at the UFC will start to question having Dana White as the face of the organization? Or is his power and influence on the sport so great that he'll have the carte blanche to do as he pleases until he decides to call it quits? Go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, his power is so great to get to this point. And any behind-the-scenes things you see, his passion isn't slowing down. His big business thinking, his ideas, he's still got it. So there's no need to replace him at this point. And I don't think we're that. If you're going to make the take that Dana White negatively doesn't support the building of new superstars, I wouldn't agree with that. This isn't like a Vince McMahon hot take in pro wrestling where it's like, well, he doesn't want the next Cena or Rock to be there. This is like, he's trying to build the next stars. They're throwing people into fights sometimes to try to see if they have that star power. It's just not an exact science.
Yeah.
And this is a sport where you can lose 50 different ways. So when somebody goes on a GSP or John Jones or Demetrius Johnson type run, we need to stop and applaud because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Here's what I would say. If you grew up watching Dana White, or my career began almost, not at the exact same time as his, but not too far apart. If you watched that and then you went through, I mean, he has toned it down massively. It used to be way more. The only liability came when those fighters launched the lawsuit against the UFC and they weaponized some of his anti-competitive comments against them, but it remains to be seen whether he'll pay a cost for that. When that first happened, UFC dialed back his schedule. He was only speaking to the Jim Romes and so forth of the world. Now he's back to talking to the MMA media, not all the time, but much more than he used to. He's doing the Tuesday Night Contender Series scrums and whatnot. So the answer is, yeah, he has carte blanche. Like, if there was ever a way that was going to impact him, it already would have. If you thought cutting Cyborg was aberrant, you missed the days when they threatened to cut everyone from AKA for not signing away their likeness rights for not a penny for a video game. You missed all of that. This is child's play.
Now, he can negatively influence the promotion of certain brands with his comments, but it doesn't seem to be lasting. Unless he's got a grudge against
And also,
you.
people keep bringing this up. I just want to make this point. Like, I like ESPN. I watch ESPN. I think it's great. I think the UFC looks even better on ESPN than I ever thought it would. But this idea, it's like, oh, ESPN's going to be a big check to him. Dude, ESPN is not a disinfectant. ESPN is an accelerant. It is a complete accelerant. Anything that they do, whether it's that you don't like signing Greg Hardy or cutting Cyborg, ESPN is not going to make that look bad. And they can say whatever they want. They're never going to make that look bad. They are their partners. Go listen to Jimmy Pitaro on the Recode Decode podcast with Peter Kafka. He talks about this. They see themselves as partners with the leagues, which is fine. That's their right to do. But this idea that they're going to be, they're going to hold their feet to the fire as their broadcast entity, no chance, no chance. Or that Jeremy Schaff would get on there and really hammer them for it. Nope. Where's Sarah Spain saying anything?
Yeah.
Where's Dan Lebitard saying anything? Where is Bomani Jones? Where is
Chael Sonnen?
What's wrong with Chael being on there?
He's there. Where is he saying anything?
Okay, but I mean, I think he also works for ESPN. The point being is, the people who are like the ones who speak out against all the injustices in their normal sports, you notice they get real quiet about you. I mean, it's just like, no, it's never going to happen. So he's here until he's not here. Let's go to the next one. Look at this. We got UFC flyweight. Macy Barber.
Wow, verified. That's the real deal.
Got the blue check mark, bro.
All right.
Brian Campbell What do they think about the beating I'm going to give on October 18th in Boston? She takes on Jillian Robertson, who has 4 wins at women's flyweight. They're going to compete on that Weidman versus Reyes card. Te gusta or no te gusta?
Oh, yeah. She's going to deliver that. I'm going to be there, front row to watch it. Can't wait.
You're going to go to that one?
Oh, damn right.
What do you think about that fight? I actually love that fight. So you've got 7-3, Jillian Robertson taking on 7-0, Macy Barber. You got tough versus contender series. You've got finally a little bit of contender action happening at women's fly. You're talking about how empty it was. Okay, it is. But it's starting to build a little bit. And
I mean, this is how you build faces and names. And
2 finishers. 2 people in Robertson and in Barber who get after it, bro. I love this fight.
You had me at get after it. I'm ready.
Oh, great analysis. Great insight.
Every Monday, 12 Eastern.